What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm Luke, and I'm going to be teaching you guys exactly how to become a professional gambler with roulette and using roulette as your own ATM. So in today's session, guys, we are going to be making $100 with this is based off a low bankroll. Same scenario, same principles apply for larger bankrolls for the high roller community, but basically I'm doing this one today as a interesting way. I've custom made this one a little bit different now to show how you guys can use certain strategies and different size units to maximize how much profit you guys can pull out without exposing a smaller bankroll. So like I always say, the recommended bankroll per unit, you should have at least 500 to 1,000 units of betting power. So depending on what your bankroll size is, sort of depicts what unit size you should be using. So we're using 10-cent units for a majority of these strategies. I've written down here, I've got 10 strategies written down. I've got a win goal for the 10-cent strategies that I'll be playing 10-cent units. I have a $2 target per these strategies, and in a number of them I've got 4 strategies out of them 10, sorry, that will be using $1 units. And I've implemented this particular strategy as a way to try and push the profits a little bit further, but still maintaining low risk. So I've chosen these particular strategies purely because of the way they cover the board, and I feel like they're one of the lower risk strategies to be able to make significant profit on. So we're going to get started here. Our first strategy, we're going to be using 10-cent units. So I'll wait for this timer to time out, and we'll get going on the next one here. But most importantly, guys, like I always say, having a plan is the key to this. So I've got a very well structured plan here. I know the exact strategies we're going to be playing. I've got notes for each of these strategies, for little reminder notes, and I know the exact target. And let's get underway. So we've got 6 corner bets out there, and I like to begin with this strategy, get this out of the road. Realistically, it doesn't matter what strategy you begin with, as long as you got a good entry point. So that hits a 33. So after we hit that, we're just going to rebet the remaining ones. And as I like to always do is, well, I've got a fair bit of board coverage, I've just added another unit to each of those corner bets. We started with 867. If we can get to around about 869, we'll be able to move on. And you know what, I'm going to take that. I'm happy with that. It's not quite 869, but it's close enough. So this strategy, I'm going to be using dollar units. And absolutely, wow, this is a perfect example right here of the complications with using the online. It can be a little bit more challenging, if you will, with the timer. But in this scenario, it's actually worked out in our favor. But yes, nothing better than starting off like that. So, but that's all right. We've just doubled up now. Well, we got $2 out there on each one, and we've got 3 individual bets here. So we've got each dozen. They are all playing as one individual bet. So as we go through, we'll just remove the ones that hit, and then we'll carry on. So that's a 23. That doesn't help us. We're just going to double, and this will be our last double here. And if we don't hit anything, we'll go into a bit of a recovery. So hopefully, if we get a hit here, that's a 20. That's going to hit the middle dozen. So we got that middle dozen out of the way, and we're just going to rebet now these remaining ones. So we had $4 out there. We'll keep the bet the same, and if we get a hit here, we'll be moving on to our next strategy. That's a 0. That's not helping us at the moment, and that's alright. We're just gonna raise these now. We've got to add another 2 units, so we've got six units per street. Now it comes down to just, being able to manage your money, staying calm, cruising along. Righto, we're at 6, 8, 6, 7. So I mustn't have calculated that very well, but we're just bet these remaining ones. Normally I'd just rather hit two streets there and be on our way, but that's alright. We'll that's a 26, so that'll take one of those streets. So this is why your math is very important, especially during the progression. You want to make sure that you've always got enough laid out there to be able to hit your target when you're not exposed to as much risk. So doing the math is the key, but it's not a worry if in that scenario we got down to the last dozen. If we went on a little bit of a dry streak, wouldn't be too much drama. We just hedge, just maintain hedging, just to keep the bets alive. So we just hit the 16 there, which misses all of our bets. So we're gonna just double that. So we've got 2 units now on each of the corners, and you can play this particular strategy on either side, whatever column you want. I've just chosen this side. Covers a few of my favorite numbers, so that's a 15. So that's going to take out one of the corners. So we'll just rebet now the remaining corners, and we were at 2 units on each corner, and I'll double that up now. So we got 4 units out there on each corner. The main thing to remember as you're going, guys, is just follow, have trust in your plan, and looking for key entry points. Now, when you do write your plan out of what your session's going to be, you don't necessarily have to stick to that particular order. By all means, if you see a good entry point where a particular strategy you believe is going to work better in that scenario, then by all means, play that strategy. And I've got a few notes written down here for particular strategies where it's a key factor is the entry point into that. So that takes out that we're going to play these remaining ones. So we've got those 2 gone. We've got these 3. We had 60 out there, so we'll just keep the bets the same. 6 units out there now. 6 units on each corner. Hopefully we get a hit on this next one, and we will be able to move on to the next strategy. So that's a 29, and that's going to satisfy that strategy. So we're at 880. We'll move on now. We're playing 2 separate bets here. We've got the top and bottom row here, both acting as individual bets. And of course we've got our jackpot numbers in between 14, 17, 20 and 23. And if we hit any of those jackpot numbers, then we'll just rebet and we'll go again. And that's a 13, I believe. That's going to take out our top row. And so now we're just going to bet the remaining row, and we'll double that up. And like I said earlier, you can, if you get to a point where you're almost at the target for each strategy, because if you've done the plan correctly, you would know exactly how much you need per strategy, the target profit is, to be able to move on. So, and in this case, that's one of them cases. I'm going to take that, and now we're going to move on, and I'm going to play all of these odd streets, and I'm also going to hedge the even with 6 units. So we've got 1 unit on these odd streets, and I say the odd streets because they got 2 odd numbers in them, and the even is just acting as a hedge. Essentially, if we hit any of the other streets, now we're going to bet these remaining streets up unit, and that's a bit slow there. I know, that's alright, we got a $1 out there as a hedge. That's a 3. That's okay, we're gonna just rebet that, and I'll add a unit to that, and we'll double now. So we're at 4 units on each of the streets, and we got $2.20 on the even. So if we do hit an even that's on the streets, it acts as a jackpot bet. So that'll help us out. Yeah, there we go. That's a 33. That's going to take out one of the streets, and I'm going to rebet these remaining ones if I can get them out there in time. And a bit slow. So this is the hard thing about playing online, but that's alright. We get the even. Hopefully we'll just return that last one, and then we'll be able to go for righto. So what we're going to do now is we got the even bet, but I miscalculated the. So we just raised that by 2 units. We'll get that even back to cover the previous loss, and ideally if we get a jackpot here, that'll be awesome. We'll be able to move on to the next strategy. We're just cruising along at the moment. 24, that's going to satisfy our even, and now we're just going to get the remaining bets out. So we had we had this, and we're just going to take this to $2 now, and we get a hit out here, and hopefully we can exit this strategy. It's 27. That takes out at last. That gets us to 894. Fantastic. And now we can move on. And I'm going to play this, one of my favorite strategies. And all we're doing is we're playing the 5 numbers that sit either side of the 0. So one of my favorite strategies, and this is one of the strategies I have chosen to play $1 units, purely for the risk to reward. And I believe that's a 28, and that hits one of ours, so that gets us to 919. And I got another strategy. I'm looking at the board, and I think I'm seeing not a lot of middle dozen, so I'm going to play this strategy. I'm in the middle here, seeing a lot of high, a lot of low. Hopefully we can satisfy this strategy in the middle here. And that's a 30. It's not helping us, so I'm just going to rebet that there now and double. I'm going to take this opportunity here to play a secondary strategy, and hopefully we can satisfy the strategy. And that's a 3, I believe, which satisfies the secondary strategy. And now we'll return as we were. So we had 2 units out, and now we're just going to raise these to 4 units on all of these. And you see that I played the 2 dozens as a bit of a, I have that written down as a strategy, so I've satisfied one of those strategies, and I've chosen because we had 3 consecutive hits in the 3rd dozen, so I felt like it was going to hit one of the other 2 dozens. So we got 6 units now out there. Looks like it's sort of just bouncing around us at the moment, but that's alright. We've got plenty of bankroll, so we're not worried. And that's a 20. That gets us to 930. But I'm subtracting the fact that I had already won the second strategy. So we'll get another hit here, and we should be able to move on. Now we started with 867, so our target to complete this is about 967. So we're at 4 units, and we'll just go up now to 6 units on each. And you'll notice I lowered the units on that last one back down. So I do recommend wherever you can reduce your units. If you can reduce them, then by all means reduce it. So that gets us to 933, and I'm happy with that. So we'll move on. Now I'm going to play another strategy using dollar units here, and I'm going to be playing all of the numbers that surround the number 5. Another one of my favorite strategies, and particularly like these strategies for the fact that they cover such a large cluster of numbers, and also the payout can be quite significant. So just shy of our numbers there, 36, just on the outside of our 11, but that's okay. And I feel confident that we're going to get an early hit. So I'm just going to raise these now. We got two units on all of these numbers, and on the first spin, because of the significant payout, there's no real need to raise the bets after the first spin. You can just respin. But that's alright. We're gonna now just take these up, add 1 unit to all of these. We've got $3 out there. 3 units per number. And we got let's see, 12. Not helping us, but that's alright. Rebet these. We'll just go up to 4 units now. And if we go on a little bit of a dry streak here, I'll show you guys exactly how we can hedge to keep the bankroll alive and buy ourselves some time. But it does look like we don't need to. We hit the 33, I believe. That gets us to 967, and bang on the money. 967 is our $100 target. We started with 867, we're now at 967. So that's $100 profit, and basically that's how it's done, guys. It's a real low risk strategies, and I'm mixing it up using the dollar unit sizes to be able to maximize profit. If we were to use 10-cent units in all of these, there would be, you'd have to play a lot deeper into the progressions and a lot more. You'd have to play a lot, start knocking off more bets and having less coverage out there using low units to be able to make significant profit. But you'll see where I place the $1 units, we have a lot of board coverage. I'm confident when we have a lot of board coverage that you know, to raise the unit sizes, you know, is the better option to be able to sort of get that hit and run goal, and you know, not being exposed to too much risk. So that's basically it, guys. $100 profit. Hopefully that sort of, you know, was a decent sort of training for, you know, teaching you guys how to manage your money. I don't think we really got into deep in any of the progressions. Didn't have to go too far in the recovery, so I didn't get a chance to really go and show you just how the hedge bets work. But I have a bunch of other videos out there, and I'll be putting more and more videos of this out for you guys. Remember, if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments. If there's anything, and I'll do my best to get back to everybody. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us out. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And yeah, also if you guys have any suggestions for different video content you'd like to see, don't be shy to drop that in the comments. I'm always happy to, you know, narrow in on specific things or whatever you guys need. But yeah, like I always say, guys, we're professional gamblers, and you know, and I'm an advocate for being a professional. So you know, we use the game of roulette as an ATM, and basically, as long as you've got a plan, you're good at money management, you know the game like the back of your hands, I have much faith that you guys will be able to succeed using this. And you know, practice, get on the simulator, practice, become fluent with the game, become fluent, know the payouts, know what each street corner, know the payouts so that you can accurately do the math. You know, you need to know that the street's 11-1, corners 8-1, etc. Familiarize yourself with all of that, and prove to yourself. You know, if you don't have to listen to me. I'm just trying to share what I know to you know, help other guys out there, because I understand a lot of people aren't very good when it comes to, you know, being able to walk away with profit, which is probably the hardest technique to master, is you know, leaving when you hit your win goal. So if you follow the rules, come with a plan, I have all the faith in the world that you guys will succeed with this. And yeah, thank you very much again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.